What's a good word, YouTube? Shit. Sorry. Ooh. Welch's grape juice. Concord grape juice. I love that stuff, but it's tart. Trying to lighten up on the fucking coffee. I keep saying I've been feeling good, so I'm trying to see if I can feel better. Anyway, fuck all that. I wanted to do a little family history lesson. My health feels kind of funky, and it got me thinking about mortality, right? Not being here no more. Did you get to say all the things you always wanted to say? Blah, 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 right? I get the weirdest shit in my head sometimes. But anyway, go figure with the post office and the coronavirus and all the rest of this shit, right? Worrying about catching this damn booger and it killing me. As a matter of fact, guess who showed up on my doorstep today? The post office. Not her, some guy. The dog started barking. I hollered at the girls to be quiet. I yelled at the guy, hey, sorry, thank you. He didn't even turn his head. Fucking rude. And I know he heard me. Anyway, sorry. I'm trying to lighten up a little bit. So anyway, family history, mortality, right? Got me thinking about some stuff. So I wanted to put some stuff up here on YouTube so that if one day I'm no longer here and this video is, anybody cares to know a little bit about where did it all start. Not like it really matters, but there could be a family member in the far future that may care to take a look, right? Who knows? Anyway, and yeah, I'm trying to clean it up a little bit if you didn't notice. I have the capability. I just get loose, and I've been in the mood for a long time, and the F-bombs and whatnot go with the mood, and I'm trying to change that. So anyway, get to the point, Johnny-O. Family lesson. The kid was born to a single mom in '62 in Redwood. Yes, I was. She lived with her mother, or excuse me, my mom lived with her dad and her brother and sister. Her mom moved out when she was 12. And she had me when she was 20 or 21. I think she got pregnant at 20 and had me at 21. But mom got pregnant in high school, had a son and put him up for adoption. And those records are sketch. I don't really know much of anything, and most of it's just hearsay kind of thing, but the pieces of the puzzle are there for sure, so whatever. So mom brings little Johnny home from the hospital to Gramps' house where she was living, right? Poor Gramps. 2 jobs, 3 kids, and a grandson, and just him and his 2 jobs. John, that's my grandpa. Namesake, right? Anyway. So, mom's there for, must have been 2 or 3 years, and then she gets knocked up for a third time by my brother's dad, James Sr. Tough man, big man, 6'4", 2 1/4, 2 1/2. That's 225 pounds, 250 pounds. Sorry, slang. Forget who I'm talking to sometimes. So mom leaves Gramps' house, moves in with James Sr. in an apartment in Redwood, and has another baby. That's my other brother Paul, who just passed away last year. And they were both drinkers. And you're talking early 60s. Hippies, right? You were either a hippie or a country person, for the most part, from what it sounds like, or from what I could tell in my mom's crowd. There were jocks, there were hippies, there were squares. Mom was probably more of a square, drunk kind of thing, right? Boozer, whatever. I don't know about Gramps. I don't know if Gramps drank. I don't. Grandma did. She's the one that split and left Grandpa with the kids. She was a drinker. So anyway, Mom and my brother's dad, bad relationship. He was mean drunk. Mom said he was a mean drunk. Flushed my head down the toilet once. Put my other brother's head in a bowl of hot soup. It's an asshole. As a matter of fact, story goes, he'd been to court so many times for assault and battery, and you just go to jail and sleep it off, and then fucking no big deal, right? Misdemeanor bullshit. But judge said, fuck you, one too many times in my courtroom. Your hands are registered now as weapons, so you put a beating on somebody at assault with a deadly weapon, you're going to prison, you're not going to jail. That's exactly what happened. He went to quitting for a couple years for assault with a deadly weapon. Except it wasn't beating somebody up, it was some other bullshit, I think with a pellet gun and the landlord or some shit. I don't remember the exact details, but he had threatened somebody. Big mean man, right? Anyway, so he goes off to the pen. Mom's stuck with 3 kids, and then she has a nervous breakdown driving an old Buick, cracked up. She was fucking blew through a stop sign, broadsided an old couple, hurt one of them, I think, from what I remember. And Mom was laughing and crying and fucking just, right? And the cops take us to the fucking station, then the social worker shows up, and it's fucking off to the group home, and then off to a fucking temporary foster home. And so from the age of about 5 or 6, I bounced through 15 to 18 foster homes, stretched out from 5 to 18 years old. And I went back home once in there, and I'll get to that. But lived with a lot of people. Some of those foster homes were duplicates, moved out, something, then moved back kind of thing. But see, the thing is, most foster homes are short-term placement, 6 months. That's all they'll do. They don't want to fall in love. Anyway, so yeah. When I went to the foster home first time and then moved back home, I was about 12 years old when I moved back home the first time. And moved from Squaresville in San Mateo, real poop butt neighborhood, back to this little shit neighborhood in Redwood City. And Redwood City wasn't East Palo Alto, but this neighborhood was a little shit neighborhood, right? Welfare, food stamps, and cockroaches, you know, low income housing. That's how I grew up with Mom. Foster homes, they had nice houses and shit, but you're a stranger in someone else's house. That shit ain't yours. So when I moved back home, it was tough. It was culture shock. It was just me and Mom Mom was still loopy. School was tough. Kids were tougher, meaner, right? They didn't give a fuck. Not like where I came from. It was a little softer. Kids were a little nicer. I mean, kids would tease, but this neighborhood was more rough. But I wised up pretty quick. It just took one incident on the basketball court to square that up. Shooting hoops and some fucking kid. There was a saying when we were kids, your mama wears combat boots. And that kid said that shit to me for the first time. And he was actually my next door neighbor, Mike Ariola. He's a good dude. And I open hand slapped him as hard as I could. And everybody flipped out. And he's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, fuck you, don't talk about my mom. And he's like, oh, right? Then he realized why I got mad and I did that. And, they were like, oh, you gonna fight? And I'm like, well, I don't want to. I wasn't trying to pick a fight. And fucking don't talk shit about my mom. And so we squashed it and we became best friends. Or I don't want to say best friends, but we were close. Slept over his house, all that bullshit kid shit. We were tight after that. But, my initiation to that fucking hood was a little rough. And when I was a youngster, I was a big kid for my age. I matured quick, right? 13, I was 5'10 and 155 pounds. I'm still 5'10, maybe 5'11 on a good day, if I've been sleeping too long. Anyway, you get the point. So, living in that little rough neighborhood, you quickly grow up to the ins and outs. I mean, there were kids that were breaking into houses. We were smoking pot. We were drinking beer. We weren't even in fucking junior high school yet. We were still in elementary school. 6th grade. I was getting stoned and drunk in 6th grade. And there are kids that I saw doing it a lot younger than that. I watched little Rudy smoke PCP and pass out in a fucking bathtub, and he wasn't even fucking... He was younger than me by at least 2 years. Just saying. I mean, fuck, man. It's what we did. It was the neighborhood we lived in. Older brothers, right? Like I told you, Jay's Towing. It was a big family, a tow truck company that got its start in East Palo Alto. Older brothers knew their shit, and we had a line on everything. And we bounced around in the big brother's lowrider. We used to get stoned in his lowrider in the front yard when the thing wasn't running. And fucking little kids pretending they're fucking listening to fucking... Anyway. Hot boxing. We'd sit in that old 62 Impala, roll all the fucking windows up, put on War on the CD, and listen to Lowrider or whatever, right? I mean, a million different songs, Barkays, all kinds of old. Sorry. Man, wow. Sorry, I didn't see that coming. I don't even know what the fuck that was. I was there for a minute, right? I could smell the inside of the car. Before we started smoking weed, that musty Chevy smell that you only get in an old Chevy. And if you've been in an old Chevy, you know what I'm talking about. I smelt it. Fuck. Man. Sorry. Memory lane, right? Anyway. Little kids in a shit neighborhood smoking weed, sitting in a lowrider. Can't make it up. That was my introduction into adulthood. Snorted cocaine for the first time at that house in the backyard. Same time frame, still riding a bicycle. Feel me? At that time we were in junior high school. We weren't in elementary school anymore. Next year, right? No longer in 6th grade. I was in 7th grade when I snorted cocaine. Never really fucked with nothing harder than blow, though. Not like that means anything. So, man, this is wiping me out. I didn't realize this was going to be so emotional. So, running amok in this little fucking neighborhood, Mom let us do what we wanted. She was a mess. The deal was, we'd get her stoned and she'd buy up for us, as long as we drank at home and we weren't drinking out in the playground at the school getting in trouble. But the thing was, we'd get drunk at home and then go fucking to the playground hammered, right? 6th grade. getting my mom stoned and drinking booze. 6th grade. So that didn't last too long. Wheels fell off. Me and Mom got into it. And wasn't in the mood, right? She said something that rubbed me wrong, and I lipped for the first time. I never lipped to her before, and I said, fuck you, for the first time to her. And I didn't realize it. It just slipped out. Young and cocky, right? Mom lost her shit. Grabbed me by the fucking hair. And at this time, I had Robert Plant, long, wavy fucking hair. I'm going to do a photo shoot for you guys with all my old pictures, but way down to here, wavy blonde hair. She grabbed me by the hair and started slapping me in the face. I just stood there. Fuck you, you can't hurt me. Finally, she got so mad. She just kind of like raged because she knew it wasn't doing nothing. And finally, I just grabbed her hands, took her to the couch, and forcefully sat her down on the couch. And she lost her shit. Fuck you, don't touch me, you're out of control. She's the one kicking my ass, right? So she called a social worker and they came pick me up. And then I was shipped back to the foster homes at age 15. Had my own car. They were tripping. They didn't know what to do with me. They never had a foster kid in the receiving home, which is this big group home, that had a car. We're like, fuck, what do we do with this? This kid's got a car. 15 years old and he's got a car. That's because I had a job. My first job, I lied. Car wash on Woodside Road. Saved up my money, bought a 66 Chevelle from Kennedy Auto Body for $450. You don't forget that shit when it's your first car. It had some body rot, little 283, 2-speed power glide, 2-barrel, nothing car. But if you turned to the right in the rain and stabbed it, you could spin donuts. No posse. Anyway, so Johnny shipped back to the foster homes, 15 years old with his Chevelle. Stuck in the group home for a minute. That was a cool experience. I was king shit in the fucking receiving home. Nobody had a car and long hair and did this and that. It was kind of, I was a rock star for a minute. It was kind of fun. I mean, for a fucked up childhood, what are you gonna do, right? And then they found me a foster home in South City. And they were cool. The mom was cool. The dad was a wreck. He started out okay, and then he got fucking spun on crank, believe it or not. That's another story. Shirley, she was fucking so sweet. Such a great lady, man. Best foster mom I ever had. Closest thing to a second mom I ever had, that's for sure. But so turn 18, me and the foster dad, we bump heads because he fucked me on some shit, and I called him out on it to his old lady, to my foster mom, and she busted his balls, and then he got right at me. Oh, how dare you, fuck you, and I bounced. Moved back in with mom. She was a train wreck. I was 18 years old, sleeping on her couch, and I remember one morning waking up and seeing some fucking guy in a room with no fucking clothes on, and I was like, oh, fuck. Really? I couldn't believe I was there. I couldn't believe I was living this life. 18 years old, right? Sleeping on mom's couch as a guest while she's banging somebody in the bedroom. So I ended up leaving there and living with a buddy of mine and his parents up in Emerald Hills. Old Bob Fisher. His folks were cool, great people. Pops was a fireman in the city, San Francisco, that is. When I say the city, if I don't clarify, it's always San Francisco. That's the only city there is for me. So I lived with them for a couple years, and then I moved in with a good buddy of mine, Al Sangemino. Love you, Sanjo. Good friend. Ain't seen him in a lot of years. Good people, though. We lived together for a minute. Back then, it was the 80s. Bodybuilding. Johnny got into bodybuilding. I surely did. Got on the juice. Did a bodybuilding show. Mr. Santa Cruz, 1987 NPC middleweight. Look it up. You'll find my name somewhere on some fucking paperwork, I'm sure. I don't know if you'll ever find any pictures. Not much to see. I was 187 pounds, soaking wet. But whatever, you know. Just experience part of life. I only did it once. Scared the fucking piss out of me. That's not an activity for an INFJ, trust me. Getting on the stage in a pair of Speedos and doing poses and stuff. I don't think so. It went way against my nature, but I ran my mouth and said I'd do it, and I couldn't back out. I was just a knucklehead lifting weights in the gym. Yeah, you want to do a show? Yeah, let's do a show. And, you know, Arnold and all that shit was a big deal back then. Bodybuilding was a huge deal in the 80s. I got wrapped up in it. I was also a bouncer. Several different bars over a long period of time. In fact, let me see. Santa Cruz bodybuilding, I got that. Okay, first bouncer job, Black Angus, Foster City. A lot of 49ers used to come in there. Jerry Rice and them, fucking knuckleheads. Got tossed one night, not Rice, but their bullshit little punter, bitch, I forget his fucking name, Wershing or something. He got tossed. He was all pissy. His fucking Rolex fell out off his wrist or something. He got in some tussle. I said, you're lucky you didn't get your ass kicked, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, the funny thing is celebrities think they fucking are something. I'm sorry, dude. When you go to the bathroom, it smells just as bad as when I go, and you ain't nothing to me. Nobody. I don't get shell-shocked or jaw-struck when I see somebody who's somebody. Quite the contrary. I go out of my way not to give them any attention because their egos are usually too big anyway. Anyway, sorry. That's me being jealous. I can admit it. Fuck them rich people. Sorry. I'm not trying to be swearing and being... This wasn't supposed to be angry. The Angry INFJ. I like that new name now. It's suiting. Thank you, Eric. He was busting my balls. Dude, you need to put a name that's got something to do with you. Johnny O 1300? What the fuck is that? I was like, I don't know. That was a long time ago. I was just fucking didn't know what to fucking put. Anyway. So, yeah. Bouncers. Lots of them. Or lots of bars. I was Black Angus. 42nd Street, a bar in Pali. That's Palo Alto, California. Stanford University, fucking rich crowd. I told a story about one of those fucking punks. Also, worked at a bar down in San Jose called Valentino's. It was a nightclub, club. Metal detectors, and who the fuck did they have come in there? Oh, shit. A big hip-hop act back in the day. Damn, I'll think of it. Anyway, yeah, Valentino's. They, I don't work there too long. It was too crowded, too big, too easy for shit to get out of control in there, man. If somebody brought a piece in there, because they were wanding everybody, and, you know, San Ho could be rough. A lot of bangers and whatnot down that way, and it was a hip-hop club, right? I can't remember the name of the group. It's killing me. Naughty by Nature. And they rocked it, too. Anyway, long time ago, different life. And then, while I was a bouncer at the Black Angus in Foster City, I met baby's mama. I surely did. Cute, sexy little Filipino girl. Caught my eye. I flirted a little bit, and her exact words were, what the fuck did she say? This is the 80s. If you want to get laid, you just need to come right out and say so. And I was fucking shocked. I was like, wow, nobody ever said that to me. I was like, cool, I'm getting me some. Sorry. But anyway, true story. I don't know whether she'd admit, she probably would. And I don't give a shit whether she did or not, because I got no reason to bullshit you. Anyway, so yeah, that's baby mama from the Black Angus. And then we hook up, I ain't gonna get into all that fucked up shit with her. There's plenty of water under the bridge for that story, but long story short, she gets pregnant. You know, I'm all about it. Let's get married. Fuck you, I don't want to get married just because I got pregnant. Okay, we're not getting married. And we're beefing bad. In fact, when she got pregnant, we were broke up. She wasn't even in state. She calls me and says, hey, I think I'm like, what? So anyway, long story short, by the time my daughter was 6 months old, she had split and moved back to her state with my kid. And I was a train wreck. And soon as she had taken my kid, it wasn't too long before I met Sunny. Crazy, sexy, cool. That's all I can say about that girl. Fuck. Sunny rocked my world. She really did. She was and is. I mean, I don't know. I ain't talked to her in a long time. I'm sure she's still around, hopefully. Train wreck. Sorry, kid, but you are. Ain't nothing new. I don't know if you'll see this or not. I don't mean no disrespect, girlfriend. But fuck, come on now. But she, when I met her, she had a real job, normal job, worked in an office. That got fucked off before too long. One thing led to another. Oh, fuck, check this place out. Oh, a friend recommended. She started dancing at a bar called AJ's. Bikini bar, to put it politely. Call it what it is, she was a stripper. She just didn't get naked. That's all. Right? Bikinis didn't hide much. And it wasn't, you know, it wasn't uncommon for the girls to slip out of their suit, if you know what I'm saying. So, whatever. And not only did she work there, but eventually I worked there as a bouncer too. Right? She stripped there and I bounced there. What a fucking team we were. Doing crank. That's methamphetamine for you squares. Me, I was trying to keep it to a weekend warrior. Sonny rocked that shit day in and day out, pretty much. And I mean, just like with baby mama, there's millions of stories to go with Sonny. Trust me. But, so, baby mama splits with the baby. I hook up with Sonny. Sonny's a train wreck. She steals my heart. I'm a fucking mess, right? There's nothing I wouldn't do to get her back. And I compromised myself so many fucking times for that woman. It ain't even funny. I don't even know how I even have any pride left after what I went through with that girl. But you live and learn, right? We end up going our separate ways. But before we did, I fucking married her. We were broke up. She calls me, hey, can you pick me up from jail? She got busted for a DUI. And we were split up, and I was bouncing at another bar at the time. Mine, please let it go. And we were broke up, and she calls me from jail. Like I said, I go get her, blah, blah, blah. I'm busting her balls bad. You're a train wreck. You're a mess. You can't get your shit together. Da, 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 da. Oh, I know. I love you, and I'm so blah, blah, blah. Let's go get married. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. No, I'm serious. I need to get my shit together. Let's go get married. I called her on her bluff. I picked her up from jail, and the next day we drove to fucking Tahoe and got married at the Chapel of Love. And we weren't even going out at the time. I shit you not. I was such a mess. I think it was 6 weeks later, we tried to file for an annulment. That never got fucking handled either. Just fucking one story after another with me. Please. I'm not trying to hear that. Mama dog. Your shit is loud. Kimba, don't do that. Pop my fucking eardrums, girlfriend. Now go lay down. Come on. Go lay down. So, yeah. Stripper wife. AJ's. At that time period, I had many different jobs. I ended up getting into the sheet metal union, Long story short, there was another relationship in there I'm leaving out of this story out of respect for her. She don't want to be talked about, so there's a chunk that you're missing. Sorry. Anyway, became a sheet metal worker. You know, Sonny long since history, except for little Kimba. She called me one day, said, I got this puppy, blah, blah, blah. She's the one that got me, Kimba. And Mayan, too. Mayan was Sonny's dog. She fucked Mayan off. I had to rescue her. Mayan's a true rescue. And Kimba was like, can you find this puppy a home? And it ended up being my home. I love you to death, Sonny, for these dogs. So, Johnny been through a lot of shit, man. Seen a lot of shit, and there's a lot of details. Fuck, you have no idea. This is just not. This is like what they call that, the cover letter, cover page of your book, right? This doesn't even fucking break down into chapters, homie. Fuck, I got so many stories. Oh fuck, I'm a half hour in. Holy shit, you guys will never watch all this. Fuck it, whatever. It was something to do. All right. Much love and respect as always. Love your family. Have a good evening. Oh, like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget. If you even get this far in the fucking video, feel free to write a comment. Love you. Peace.